traces of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle from the British royal family are being erased, and this is far more significant than just the destruction of their former home.
What if the biggest problem facing Harry and Meghan isn't the royal family anymore? What if it's something far more dangerous? Public opinion. For years, the Sussexes positioned themselves as the couple who walked away from royal life in search of freedom, privacy, and a fresh start. But now, a growing question is sending shockwaves through royal watchers, commentators, and even some of their former supporters. Has the mood in Britain completely changed? Because everywhere you look, the headlines seem louder, the criticism seems harsher, and the debate over whether Harry and Meghan should ever play a larger role in British public life again has become more explosive than ever. Why are so many commentators suddenly talking about a return nobody seems prepared to welcome? Why are polls, pundits, and palace insiders all being dragged into the same heated argument? And perhaps the most surprising question of all, if Harry truly wants a path back toward reconciliation with his family and his country, is that path even still open? Tonight, we're diving into the controversy, the public backlash, the growing frustration, and the questions that refuse to go away. Because if the latest reactions are any indication, this story is no longer just about Harry and Meghan. It's about whether an entire nation has already made up its mind. And what happens next could change everything. For a long time, Harry and Meghan believed the hardest part of their story was behind them. After all, they had already done the impossible. They walked away from royal life. They left behind the palaces, the protocols, the endless rules, and the constant scrutiny that came with being members of one of the most famous families on earth. At least that was the plan. But what if the real challenge wasn't leaving? What if the real challenge was what came next? Because in recent months, a strange pattern has started to emerge. A pattern that has royal commentators, newspaper columnists, social media users, and even former supporters asking uncomfortable questions. Questions that nobody seemed interested in asking a few years ago. And the answers are becoming harder to ignore. The story begins with a relationship that has been under a microscope for years. Harry's departure from royal duties shocked millions around the world. His interviews, documentaries, public statements, and memoir transformed what was once a private family dispute into an international spectacle. Every new revelation created headlines. Every interview triggered debate. Every appearance generated another round of arguments between supporters and critics. For some people, Harry and Meghan represented independence. For others, they represented betrayal. And that divide never truly disappeared. Instead, it grew. Then came the streaming deals, the documentaries, the podcasts, the books, the speeches, the media appearances. For a while, everything seemed unstoppable. The numbers were huge. The attention was massive. The headlines kept coming. But behind the scenes, critics began noticing something. The excitement that once surrounded the Sussex brand wasn't generating the same level of enthusiasm anymore. Comment sections became more divided. Public reactions became more skeptical. Even longtime observers started wondering whether the couple's strategy was losing momentum. Then something unexpected happened. A series of reports and public discussions reignited one of the biggest debates surrounding Harry's future. Could he ever return to a more active role in Britain? The question alone was enough to spark controversy. Within hours, social media exploded. Some people insisted reconciliation should happen. Others reacted with immediate hostility. The conversation quickly turned emotional. And that's when things became even more dramatic. According to reports circulating across multiple commentary platforms, discussions about Harry's relationship with Britain had quietly resurfaced behind the scenes. No official confirmations. No public announcements, just whispers, rumors, speculation. The kind of speculation that spreads faster than facts. One post that attracted significant attention claimed that any attempt to rebuild public support would face enormous resistance. Another viral comment described the situation as the most difficult image repair challenge in modern royal history. Whether those claims were accurate hardly mattered. The public reaction was already underway. Every headline seemed to generate another argument. Every article created another battle online. People who had not discussed the Sussexes for months suddenly returned to the conversation. And the tone wasn't getting friendlier. It was getting louder. Then came the twist that nobody expected. Instead of focusing on the future, public attention shifted back toward the past. Old interviews resurfaced. Old statements were shared again. Old controversies were suddenly trending across social media platforms. Moments that many assumed had been forgotten were being dissected all over again. And with every reposted clip, every viral thread, and every renewed debate, one question became impossible to avoid. Had the past finally caught up with Harry and Meghan? Because what was unfolding no longer looked like a simple disagreement. It looked like something much bigger. Something that had been building quietly for years. And according to some commentators, the real storm had only just begun. Just when it seemed the debate couldn't become any more intense, the conversation took a completely unexpected turn. Because suddenly, the question was no longer whether Harry and Meghan could repair their image. The question became whether they even wanted to. And that single shift changed everything. Overnight, social media transformed into a battlefield.